Welcome back, everybody. I'm Sassy Pants, wife to Matty the Rancher, and I'll be your storyteller today. Welcome to Adventures with Sodak Pete. Stories that celebrate the hard work, big hearts, and wide open spaces of ranch life. Out here, every day's an adventure, and we hope each and every one of you listening can imagine yourself as little Sodak Pete, learning the ropes, getting your hands a little dirty, and helping out where it counts. So grab your boots, tip your hat, and let's see what today's adventure has in store. Sodak Pete, cows, and a clubhouse. The sky was still a little sleepy when Sodak Pete swung out of bed. He tugged on his jeans and he grabbed his cowboy hat. He opened the door and he found Millie wagging her tail. "Come on, girl," he whispered. "Time to roll." The smell of coffee and bacon filled the cabin. Matty leaned over the table, pointing at a scribbled pasture map. "We've got green grass calling, Pete," he said. "Let's open up the back gates and move the herd." Pete nodded. "We're ready." With the sun peeking over the hills, Pete and Millie zipped down the trail on Blackjack, the trusty four-wheeler. "Gates are tight," Pete said at the first stop. Millie gave a happy bark. They had work to do, and they were off like a shot of prairie wind. When they got to the gate, Pete rattled the chain loose and swung the old gate wide open. Matty rode up in Old Gray. He hopped out and gave Pete a nod. "Perfect timing, cowboy," he said. Beyond the gate lay a big stretch of thick, juicy green pasture, just waiting for hooves. Cows turned their heads, ears were a-flicking, and the calves bounced with wide-eyed wonder. Pete gave a calm whistle through his teeth. "Come on, girls," he called. Millie darted to the side and off to the other side. She guided the stragglers with a low, silent prowl. The mamas mooed low, the calves bumbled forward, and the herd stretched out like a slow parade. Under the wide arms of an old oak tree, Pete tore a strip of beef jerky with his teeth, while Millie lapped water from the nearby creek. "That'll do," Pete said. He leaned back against the trunk. "They're grazing and happy now." A little breeze rustled through the grass, and they could hear a cow's distant moo. By late morning, the herd was settled and the work was done, at least for now. Back in the ranch yard, Pete heard Scrappy's engine rumble to life. Matty leaned out the skid steer window. "Hey, Pete, think you're ready for a big job?" Pete's eyes lit up. "What you got, Matty?" Matty pointed to a weathered little shed off in the trees. "That used to be our kids' clubhouse," he said. "Then we used it for vet work. But now, it's yours. If we can get it moved behind the cabin, you can have it." Pete grinned. "Let's do it." With a lurch and a growl, Scrappy the skid steer rolled into place. Matty lowered the forks and slid them under the clubhouse, while Pete stood back, arms crossed like a foreman. "Nice and easy," Pete called. Millie just wagged her tail and helped to supervise. The old clubhouse wobbled a bit, but Scrappy handled it like a champ. Matty drove slow and steady while Pete walked alongside, boots dusty and eyes sharp, calling out, "Little to the left, little to the right, looking good." Millie trotted just behind, keeping watch like a pro. They settled the clubhouse behind the ranch cabin under the shade of a big old tree. Pete dusted off his hands and stepped to the doorway. "Dusty?" "Yup." "Spiderwebs?" "You bet." "Perfect?" "Absolutely." Pete swept the dirt floor. He pushed an old tree stump inside for a chair, and he hung a hand-painted sign over the door, "Sodak Pete's Headquarters." He stood in the doorway, squinting at the walls and corners, dreaming up ways to fix it, paint it, maybe even add a window or two. Millie flopped happily by the door, tongue out and tail thumping. The sun dipped low behind the hills. Matty and I leaned on the porch rail, watching Sodak Pete sit quietly out back. He was admiring the clubhouse. His clubhouse. Legs stretched out and hands behind his head. "Big day?" Matty asked. "The best," Pete replied without looking away. Millie gave a soft bark in agreement. You never know what a ranch day will bring, but with green pastures, old memories, and a little clubhouse magic, it's bound to be a good one. We're mighty thankful for strong hands, good hearts, and the chance to work and play together. We thank the good Lord for the wide open sky and every blessing beneath it. Thanks for riding along with us today. Sodak Pete hopes you'll join us on our next adventure.